Of course, we're just speaking about search and rescue operations there. It's going to be some time before we know about the human toll from this disaster. But when you look at the scale of the ruin and how much of the city has been destroyed, how is the country going to recover from this?
This is the big question, because this disaster by all means comes after two major crises. First of all, the financial and economic crisis that started in October of last year, whereby the Lebanese lira has lost 90% of its value. 50% of the Lebanese population are under the line of poverty, while 40% are unemployed. Plus the liquidity crisis, the banking crisis, whereby the citizen cannot have access to their own money, to their own saving. This is translating into a major economic nightmare for the Lebanese population. On top of it came the COVID crisis and the lockdown to deepen, to amplify the impact of the crisis. And with yesterday apocalyptic event, I wonder how Lebanon will get over this. This is pushing this small country into the abyss, bearing in mind that the port is really the hub. This is the major route that links the Lebanon to the rest of the world. Lebanese economy is a trading economy. It's not an industrial country. So every single business, from bank to insurance to distribution companies to any business, even tourism, is linked to
from what you say, it's not a question of the economy being in free fall. It has collapsed, and now the country is completely isolated, cut off from the rest of the world. It's hard to describe the anger and the level of injustice made worse by the fact that the authorities knew about the storage of ammonium nitrate at the port and they did nothing about it. What are the repercussions for the political class?
The anger of the population is as its acme. Never, this level of anger was felt by the population, because if the narrative of the government is true, that this is not a military operation, an industrial explosion, that means this is the result of a corrupt system. This political system is so criminal that is responsible of what happened, that the toll, more than 135 people were dead. The number of injuries or wounded people, more than 5,000. The whole city is in a Hiroshima landscape. So, and this is the responsibility of the political system, and this is something that the Lebanese population cannot take. Maybe what I'm saying is politically incorrect. We would have preferred if this was the result of an outside attack. But to realize that this corrupt political system is responsible of so much damage, never. All the wars in Lebanon did not have such an impact
from what you're saying, it's going to take many, many years for the country to recover economically and to rebuild this port. It's very difficult to say how long that's going to take. But could it also become a catalyst for real change in Lebanon?
Unless they change this political establishment, this political class, this awful sectarian political system, there is no way to get out of the crisis. The international community, want to help Lebanon. They put up several financial aid program to help Lebanon, provided this country undertakes reforms. And for the last decade, no single reform has been achieved. Why? Because for these political forces, reforms mean suicide. They are feeding their own party from the system. So they cannot reform, because reforming for them is practically suicide. And unless there is a radical change at the level of the political system, of the political establishment, there is no way this country will see an era of, or will go into recovery.
All right. Thank you very much, Sami Nader in Beirut.